What if I told you that you have an advantage over your competitors that you may not realize? Yes, this advantage has something to do with the Magnum 7140 and 7140 MFD, as well as the Case 9230 and 9240 four-wheel drive tractors. You may be thinking that you know the advantages that these individual tractors have over their competition. If you do, that's great. But I don't want you to think about these tractors in comparison to competition. I want you to think about them in comparison to each other. Why? Because by understanding the advantages each of these tractors provides under specific conditions, you can help your customer select the tractor that will make the most productive contribution to his operation. For example, your customer is in the market for a row crop tractor, but is the 7140 MFD his best choice? Or will a 9230 give him the additional flexibility that will make his purchase a superior investment? How do you help him decide? Well, first, take a close look at your customer's operation. What types of tractors does he own? If he only owns two-wheel drive tractors now, this may be the perfect opportunity to take advantage of the versatility that a four-wheel drive tractor can provide. Or if your customer owns several four-wheel drive tractors, a Magnum might be the perfect addition to his operation. Look at the size of the customer's farming operation. If his acreage is growing, a four-wheel drive tractor might be his best choice. What implements does your customer own? What crops does he farm? How much of his acreage is small grains? How much is row crops? There are a lot of questions you need the answers to in order to help your customer make the right choice. Let's look at each of these tractors and discuss the capabilities of each. Let's start with the Magnum 7140. The 7140's 6TA 830 engine provides 195 PTO horsepower. This compares to 202 PTO horsepower for the 9230 and 9240. Which are also powered by the 6TA 830. The horsepowers are similar, so horsepower isn't really an issue in deciding which of these machines is most appropriate. Also, all four tractors have a 1 3/4 inch, 1000 RPM PTO. As we've said, all the tractors are row crop capable, but the 7140 two-wheel drive is ideally suited for row crop work where maneuverability is a primary concern. The two-wheel drive chassis allows the farmer to make very tight headland turns and is very maneuverable in farmyard work. Its 10,200-pound hitch capacity is among the highest in the industry and provides great flexibility to the customer. The hitch can easily be adjusted on the go for varying applications and soil types. Keep in mind that the 18-speed forward, 4-reverse full powershift transmission is standard. This permits on-the-go shifting under full power without clutching from 1st to 18th gear, and shuttle shift from forward to reverse without clutching. The optional 6-speed creeper package is ideal for operations such as potato lifters or sugar beet lifters. When is the 7140 the right machine for the job? The 7140's excellent maneuverability, 30-inch row crop capability, and 10,200-pound hitch capacity make it a good choice for a supplemental tractor. It probably is best recommended when your customer already owns an MFD or a four-wheel drive tractor. To help your customer get the most out of his 7140, be sure you recommend the correct tires. For tillage, select 20.8 by 42 duals for the rear with an appropriate front tire to match. For row crop applications, select 18.4 by 42 or 18.4 by 46s for the rear. What about the 7140 MFD? In addition to the capabilities we've already discussed, the 7140 MFD provides increased tractive performance in many conditions. It's well documented that MFD will allow a lower horsepower tractor to outperform a higher horsepower two-wheel drive. It's important to remember that even though the 7140 MFD has the widest range of tread settings of any MFD axle in the industry, 60.1 to 95 inches, MFD provides increased tractive performance at the expense of maneuverability. To maximize the maneuverability of the 7140 MFD, recommend the right tires. For tillage, specify 20.8 by 42 duals on the rear and 16.9 by 30s on the front. For row crop applications, specify 18.4 by 42 duals on the rear and 14.9 by 30s on the front. If you're thinking about recommending an MFD tractor, ask yourself, is MFD really right for the customer? Instead, you might get your customer to consider the 9230 four-wheel drive. The 9230 is also 30-inch row crop capable. It provides excellent flotation, traction, and stability. More traction and stability than the 7140 MFD. Why? Let's talk about that for a minute. Optimum traction and stability are achieved when the tractor's weight is evenly distributed between the front and rear tires. For example, a 7140 MFD tractor that is pulling an implement has a weight distribution of 25% on the front tires and 75% on the rear tires. In comparison, the 9230 has an even distribution of weight between the front and back when pulling an implement. That's why your customer will get increased traction and stability with the 9230. In addition, the 9230 provides outstanding maneuverability because of its articulation and optional steerable front axle. Steering options include articulation only, or combination steering that adds the 6 degrees of front axle steering to the 40 degrees of articulation. This provides a 12.8-foot turning radius, which is tighter than any MFD on the market. It can turn tight enough for 8 and 12-row narrow applications. With its steerable front axle and tread settings from 60 to 130 inches, the 9230 will till, plant, and cultivate. Again, it's important to recommend the right tires. The best tires for the 9230 are 18.4 by 38 duals. The inners can be set to 60 inches and the outers to 120 inches. The tractor is ideally suited for tillage work, yet it can come back and plant and cultivate without any tread adjustment. The 18.4 by 42 duals are not recommended for the 9230. These larger diameter tires will force steering stops to be used on the tractor, thereby reducing turning radius and maneuverability. They also add expense to the tractor. The 9230's versatility is increased by its increased hitch lift capacity of 12,750 pounds. That compares to the 7140's 10,200 pounds. Additional features make the 9230 as easy to operate as it is versatile. The hydraulic systems on all 4 tractors are PFC, closed center, load sensing, and pressure compensating. The Magnum provides up to 22 gallons per minute at a single remote, while the 9230 and 9240 provide 28 gallons per minute at the remote. If your customer has a very demanding hydraulic application, you have a flow advantage with the 9230 and 9240 tractors. The 9230 and 9240 use a 12-speed full power shift versus the Magnum's 18-speed full power shift. While they're both full power shift transmissions, there are operating differences. The Magnum will have closer speed splits and smoother shifting because of it. The Magnum can also start in a selected gear, whereas the 9230 and 9240 always start in first and shift to the desired speed. These are differences you need to be aware of when selling to customers. Both transmissions provide the ability to match a load and speed for maximum productivity, and ultimately, that's what the customer's looking for. For easy row crop cultivation, the new skip shift controller allows shifting from first to fourth, to sixth to eighth gear in approximately 3 seconds. Other options like the field-installed electronic draft sensing increase the flexibility of this tractor. If your customer has wider row crop requirements of 36, 38, or 40 inches, consider presenting the 9240. The 9240 has a number of features in common with the 9230. Both use the 6TA 830 engine. Both have a 12-speed full power shift transmission with the skip shift feature. Both have a 12,750-pound hitch lift capacity. And like the 9230, the 9240 has an even distribution of weight between the front and rear tires for excellent traction and stability. An important distinction between the two tractors is that the 9240 is a rigid frame tractor. Yet the 9240 is extremely maneuverable because of its four-way selective steering. The four steering options give the 9240 the ability to work as accurately as a two-wheel drive tractor. Front steering provides precise control for planting and cultivating. Coordinated steering combines front and rear steering for tight, full power turns at headlands. In fact, the turning radius is actually shorter than on big two-wheel drive tractors. Crab steering turns both front and rear wheels in the same direction, which is especially useful on hills to avoid side hill drift. Rear steering makes implement hookup and specialty work much easier. To help your customer get the optimum maneuverability needed for row crop work, be sure to recommend the right tires. For tillage, recommend 18.4 by 38 duals. This tire provides plenty of contact area and traction for the horsepower and weight of the tractor. For row crop applications, recommend 14.9 by 46, 16.9 by 38, 18.4 by 38, or 18.4 by 42 duals. Keep in mind that as you go up in tire size, it will reduce the axle's steering angles, thereby reducing the tractor's turning radius. The 9240 has a special set of wider row wheels specifically designed for 36, 38, and 40-inch row crop. The inner wheels can be set to 72, 76, or 80 inches, with the outer duals at 144, 152, or 160 inches. This is the only four-wheel drive in the business that can provide dual tread settings for wide row crops. The 9240 is not recommended for narrow row crop applications. The chassis is too wide to allow narrow tread settings. When considering the 9240 for your customer, keep in mind the fact that the 9240 represents the leading edge in rigid frame technology. The rigid frame chassis increases stability and traction. The 9240's 124-inch wheelbase provides a very smooth ride. Center oscillation allows the rear tires and chassis to maintain better tire contact for excellent traction. In addition, the straight line 1000 RPM 1.75-inch PTO runs big combines or forage harvesters efficiently. Magnum 7140 and 7140 MFD, as well as the 9230 and 9240 four-wheel drive models. Four excellent choices to present to any customer in the market for a row crop tractor. All four of these tractors are covered by a 5-year, 5,000-hour warranty. That's the best warranty in the business. The customer has the need, and Case offers the tractors that will meet that customer's need in a way that no other manufacturer can. It's up to you to find out enough about your customer and his operation in order to help him maximize his investment. The effort will be worth it because your customer will see the value of Case as well as your value as a consultant capable of improving his operation.